right, and besides the 2 years of lockdown, there has been crisis in the country. The 10th of January, the economy was reopened for the education sector. 24th of January, 2 weeks after the reopening of the schools, Ugandans were outside finally. The nightlife economy was fully reopened. The excitement was there. The anticipation had been there for over 2 years. And that is where we draw our discussion today. And our main topic will be discussing how the entertainment industry is faring after the post-lockdown, after it was fully reopened. And joining us in this discussion is an entertainment analyst, Mr. James Proper. You're most welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I'm glad to be here.
Many thanks for joining us here. Well, how has been your new year, by the way?
It's exciting so far. I was not as hopeful. I thought the entertainment industry was still going to face maybe another 8 months of lockdown, considering how fast people were getting vaccinated. But I think, thank God, we got the Omicron, which seemed to have a wave in December and then burnt out. And we were able to be reopened. I mean, it's exciting so far. The year is quite exciting.
Let's now look at how this industry was affected. How was the entertainment sector affected during the past 2 years?
Yeah, first of all, we need to understand that the entertainment sector was working in a very unsustainable way. Artists and creators were relying on open air events where they have to bring in people so that they can make a living. And in March 2020, we just got stopped. We could not do any concerts anymore. We could not go out to bars. So everything had to change. The music, the way the music is marketed had to change. The way people consume music had to change. So we had to start shifting from the analog way of distributing music to the digital ways. Of course, it's not been very smooth for every artist, but at least now we see that when artists release music, they are releasing it in a more sustainable way. They'll have the music on YouTube as a priority, then they'll have the music on digital platforms as a priority. And now we understand the value of sustainability. So the effect was really huge because some artists had not performed for about 2 years. Of course, a few who do weddings and other events were able to perform, but of course the magnitude wasn't as big as it was before, because you also need to understand that the money comes from the audience, and when the audience has no money, then
the sector has no money.
The sector has no money. Yeah, and it's more of it's not priority for people to go out and party or to have an artist on their Kwanjula or
as long as they have the music already.
Yes, as long as they have the music. So having an artist is just by the way. So if the budgets are tight, then people are not bringing in the artists. So, but at least we're able to survive it.
Now, with that, I would want to know, is musical art in general a hobby or a career? Because for the last 2 years, we can easily identify whether it was a hobby for some or it was a dedicated career.
Or it was a vibe.
For most of them, or they just chose a vibe to actually continue.
I think the mindset of music being a hobby comes from the way it's cut out. But, for example, myself, I only survive on music.
Okay.
I only survive on entertainment as a music curator, as a media personality. So there are lots of people like me. Some are bouncers at clubs, some are DJs. So when we look at music, the mistake that we make, actually even the artists, the mistake they make is thinking that music is all about the artist. It's a full ecosystem. This industry employs thousands of people. When you are passing by Kabalagala or Kansanga or Machinye or Nampolabi, as you are buying that chicken after you've come out of the club,
true,
that person who is selling the chicken is part of the ecosystem.
True.
You get so music is a fully fledged industry. People have careers in this industry. So yes, but for some it's a hobby. For example, for the fans, because they're also part of the industry, but some of them, we serve them as if it's a hobby for them. Like sports. People go out to watch matches because
they love watching.
Yeah, because they love watching the game. not because they are there to make money. But for the players in the pitch, it is everything. It is what puts bread in their homes. So for people like me, for the artists, for the DJs, for yourself.
Very true.
Yes.
And maybe if you could share with us, did you feel, you mentioned earlier, it's a career. Did you feel that your career was gone at some point in the last 2 years?
I think for many people they felt like that. I come from a more, I'm a little blessed or lucky that even before COVID came, I was pushing artists to get digital. And primarily for me, my source of income is by getting the music and getting it digital. On caller tunes, on digital platforms. That is where I make most of my money. Okay. So for me, I never felt threatened. In fact, I felt empowered that now was the chance to actually get the artists to do the things that I've been telling them over the years. Because I've been on this for over 5 years, telling them, guys, get digital. You need more sustainable ways of making money. You need to think about the future. You need to think about when you get an accident while heading to Gulu, what next for your career? So this was a great opportunity for me to tell them, hey guys, you can make the money. The good thing is the platforms that they had to plug in were already there. Yeah, so for me myself, I never felt threatened at all.
Okay,
Yeah,
and how do you think
opportunity.
they have embraced digital migration?
Yes, they are moving towards digital now. When we started out before the lockdown, we had a turnaround of about 60% of the music getting on digital platforms. After the lockdown, trust me, even the people that you think are band artists or Kadongo Kamo artists, they are also getting their music on digital. So right now, at least almost 90% or 95% of relevant music gets on digital 24 hours after the artist has released the song. Yeah.
I still want to know how do these artists or performers earn from these digital platforms, because I see quite a number. Now you've been associated with MTN Tidal. I think you can easily take us through that as well. I've also seen many of Spotify. I see YouTube. How do people earn money? How do these performers earn money from these particular platforms?
Yeah. So when an artist releases a song, they place the song on the platforms. The easiest one is YouTube and maybe caller tunes for artists. They know how they get the music there. So after they get the music there, the customers or the fans start streaming the music. Let's start from YouTube. So on YouTube, when you go and watch a video from an artist, you give them a view and you give them watch time. So if the song is 3 minutes, you give when you watch it once, you give them 3 minutes of watch time. So when an account reaches a certain number of views and watch time, it starts to monetize, to make money.
Okay.
So every stream after that, when you watch, that stream is counted as money. In dollars, it's about $0.0001 per
So
stream.
the more streams you
The
get,
most, yes, it's a number of, it's a game of numbers. The more streams you get, the more money you make. So, and that's the principle for all platforms. And the thing is, different platforms work best in different environments. We still have a very good diaspora that streams music off Apple Music, for example. We have a very strong diaspora that streams off Spotify. And then, so now we are also starting to move into having these platforms local, so that local people can also start streaming music. And the advantage is, on a streaming platform, the music is in the quality that the artist intended. Not like when you go to a cafe or when you go to one of these CD boys and they have converted the song 1,000,000 times and the quality is crazy. So every time people stream music, the artist accumulates the streams or the views, and these views are paid out. And for most platforms except YouTube, you can upload the video directly. For digital streaming platforms, Tidal, Spotify, Apple Music, you need to go through who we call a distributor.
okay.
So a distributor is a company that will get your music and distribute it to all these digital streaming platforms.
There are
about 100.
Do you have those distributors in Uganda?
Yeah, we have a few. One of the companies I work for is a distributor. It's called Content Connect Africa. It originates primarily from South Africa, but it has expanded to other African territories, including Uganda. But I think the most common ones that people can relate with include Sony, Universal Music. Of course, even in the industry now, there are others that are getting a bit of recognition, like Empire. So these are companies that get your music and put it on the digital platforms. And it doesn't stop there.
Okay.
You see, on the digital platforms, we have about 70 million songs now.
Various digital platforms or on a single?
So digital platforms work in a way that they are all, let me say, lined up there.
Okay.
Then the distributor will push the music to all.
So
does that make sense?
It integrates
So
the ecosystem.
Yes.
Of that. Okay. Then.
So one distributor distributes to all the platforms. For example, artists are aware of what is called TuneCore or DistroKid. These are online distributors. When you give them your song, they'll push it to all the digital platforms.
Do they pay you when you send them the songs?
So this is what happens for online platforms. We need to go back and understand how the industry works.
Okay.
There are what we call major labels, Sony, Universal, blah, 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 blah. But those labels have not extended to Africa extensively. So technologists, computer scientists came up with ideas of online platforms for independent artists and small labels. That is what gave birth to platforms like TuneCore or DistroKid. So you can easily sign up at a fee. So you pay them like $10 per song
to get on the label.
Yes, to get onto the platform so that they can push your music to these companies.
Okay.
So you pay $10, but then on the revenue that you make, some of them take off a small percentage and then send the rest of the money to you. Some claim, I'm saying claim because I can't prove it. Some claim that they'll not take any money of the revenue that you make. So you give them a small premium, $30 per album, $10 per single or per one track.
Very true.
And then they take this music and put it on the platforms. When the money comes, it comes to you. Then for the big label, of course, there are labels that work well in Africa, like the one I work for. And these ones will push, when you have a contract with them, they'll push your music to the platforms, but they'll not charge you any amount. Instead, when the money comes, you do a revenue split at a rate of, let me say, 30-70 in favor of the artist, or 50-50 depending on the level of the artist, and also depending on the marketing that is required for the song. Like I said, we have over 70 million songs now. So out of 70 million songs, how do we ensure that your song is the one that is getting spotlighted? So that is where the marketing comes in. And this comes in sense of playlists, album placements, and stuff like that.
You've mentioned of
maybe sorry to interject. If we could exhaust this one, what is your reaction on the idea that maybe for artists, more so musicians, on some report that was being highlighted on social media some months back, that they should be taken on, their song should be taken on by one individual, and thereafter he maybe could own them all, and afterwards the reactions or whatever the concerts you have done, the profits that is being gotten from there is going to that particular person. So I buy the song, and whatever comes after that song is mine. What is your reaction on that?
I don't know if I understand you clearly, because there is something that came up during the lockdown, where artists were going to Gulu, and the people in Gulu, the general in Gulu, was setting up a company to start buying off Ugandan music.
Exactly.
The danger with that is it doesn't create a competitive ground.
Okay.
Because in my own experience, this is what I've seen. I have over, let me say, 50 Ugandan artists. And when it's time for marketing, I have 10 slots.
Okay.
So who do you give the 10 slots? Who do you not give the 10 slots? If I have, let me say, on top of the 10 slots from let me say the DSP or the digital streaming platform, I have my social media where I'm going to market the songs using social media. So, and I have a budget of $2,000. So who do I include in that $2,000? Who do I not? So the problem of having one player is you'll start seeing favoritism for some artists and others will be knocked out. The other thing is, from how it comes out, it's from the government. If someone is like, say, Bobby Wine, or no.
Okay,
someone of the
against
mind who
government.
is against government, probably their music will not be bought. Yet music should be free.
Because it won't play on that individual platform.
Yes, they will not give him $1 billion shillings like they would give someone who is pro-government. So this is the problem with such setups. But the idea of organizations coming in and companies coming in, opening the floor for everybody who wants to do digital distribution to come in and buy music, that is very nice. Because even in countries that we look at like Nigeria or the US, you find that Sony Music paid out $1 million to Wizkid for one of his albums. In fact, I'm told his next album has been bought out.
Okay.
And what this does, it gives liquid to the artist so they can make music videos. Also, these partnerships bring you things like collaborations. I don't know how much you guys follow the industry, but for example, now you see Fireboy doing a collaboration with Ed Sheeran, Kiddy doing a collaboration with Tiger.
So Omale with some other artists there.
So we can't do those things.
You gave us the age.
Yes. So we can't do those things unless we have big budgets and big partnerships.
Okay.
You'll find that Ed Sheeran is already maybe signed to Sony, I'm just saying. So because he's already signed to Sony, Sony doesn't have to pay too much for him to do a song with Fireboy. You get it? So this is the advantage that comes with these companies. So when we letting these companies come in, and this is what I've been saying to government, open up the flow, open up the borders to these companies, give them tax holidays. Let's have Spotify open up a local company. Let's have Sony Music open up a local company. Give them tax holidays. In this way, we'll be able to plug into the marketing, into the opportunities that the Nigerians are getting that we can't get right now because our streaming numbers are low. YouTube, if they were here locally, they would be pushing much more. Where we have 1 million views, we'd be having probably 20 million views. But because they're not here locally, we are getting 2 million views. And like we said, it's a game of numbers.
All right. And indeed, it's a game of numbers. If you don't have the numbers in this digital era, then you don't have the money that accounts to those numbers. Well, after the break, we are going to continue with this discussion, among which we are going to be talking about the industries in Nigeria, South Africa, and why these two industries are strongly ahead of Uganda's industry in terms of the money, in terms of the video quality, in terms of everything to do with the organization in both industries, South Africa and Nigeria, why we are still a step behind. And then we also have to look at the lessons that the entertainment industry has taught the stakeholders. And besides that, we shall also be, but before we actually go into a break, I want to also try to get some clarity here. You've been mentioning about South Africa and Nigeria. I think these are the only industries that are dominant on the continent, that are very dominant. I wouldn't say that are
even
dominant.
here we tend to play much of the Nigerian music.
Now currently South Africa is already hitting the Ugandan industry. So why do you think they are above us, and what can we do to compete with them?
I think the music industry doesn't work in isolation from other industries. You'll find that these guys are ahead of us in everything, be it medical, be it education, be it anything that we want to think about. And the music industry doesn't work in isolation at all. So these guys are advanced. These guys have stronger, like more resources than we do. For example, DSTV originates from South Africa, and MTV base is on DSTV. So definitely, a South African it will be easier for them to walk into the office of these big TV stations to get their music played. A Ugandan would have either to send emails that will never get responses, or would have to pay for a ticket that is about $600 to go and get this music playlisted. Then the other thing that is a very strong point for Nigeria, Nigeria has a very big diaspora. So most of the guys, most of the producers are actually based in London. So they have access to the best machines. That is why we always say, oh, they have better quality than us. They have better training, they have better machines, they have better access to these resources because they're in the diaspora. They're already close to the offices of Spotify. They're already close to the head offices of YouTube. They already have influential people in there. So this makes it easier for them to penetrate. They also have a very big population, and the competition in Nigeria is stiff. When you speak to a Nigerian, they'll tell you that if you want to make it in Nigeria, you can't sleep. So this basically means even for the artists, you have to work extremely hard to make sure that you can make it. And they never leave any coin on the table. They'll make sure they maximize the opportunity that is there. So, and this is different for Ugandan artists. The Ugandan artist, I think Uganda is very cheap. If you make about 10 million a month, you're a rich man. You can buy a car you want. You can
Buy a plot.
You can. So this kind of makes our artists a bit lazy. They're very lazy, I'll tell you. Because even when we tell them that, guys, if you're releasing music and releasing it to these platforms where you're competing with the Fireboys, you need to release it in the best quality. An artist will still release an MP3 song to these platforms. So you play, you get a song, very poor quality, you go to a Nigerian song, better quality. Because these guys understand what it takes.
You have to choose.
Okay,
now.
is it the society, from what you were speaking about, unpicking, I'm learning that maybe even the Nigerian community is playing a role here. So is it the society here that is also reluctant? And also, I believe that we can still achieve that. I believe we can still have the resources. You're talking about equipment. Why can't we have whatever you were mentioning? Why can't we have it here?
I think the laziness starts from the industry and people not wanting to learn and read and make research or research, as we call it. So if people are not making research and not willing to adopt to new methods, then there is no way the audience is going to adopt. It starts with us, the people who own the business. We have to influence the other people that they can claim for better quality, that they can claim they can support Ugandan music better, that they can request for Ugandan music on international platforms. Because if the audience really wants to do something, but we are frustrating them, then there is not going to be any progress. I mean, it goes back to everything, every part of society. If we want to have better roads, then we need to have better companies or better government policies. You get. So even if us, the people, want better roads, but
of course I want to watch something good. I want to watch a very great video.
Yes, like you want to drive on a very nice road.
Yes.
But if the policies are not good, and if there is embezzlement, you'll never have that very good road. So it's the same for the industry. You want to watch a very nice video, but the people who are doing the videos are doing crap. Then you're going to watch crap. And before you know it, you're going to get comfortable with the crap that they're giving you. So it starts with the industry. If we are going to change anything about quality, if we are going to change the training that our producers have, then the people who are going into meetings with the government, people who are going to Gulu, for example, they should start having conversations beyond give us 2 billion shillings, that they're going to eat themselves, to conversations like, let's have Don Jazzy come to do a masterclass.
Okay.
Let's have Eminem come to do a masterclass.
Okay.
So if we start having conversations in that angle, then we're going to see the business grow. But the problem we have is everybody is self-centered. All the conversations that are happening, people will get 300 million for a concert, and we'll only spend 60 million on the industry, and the 240 goes into production. Can you imagine?
Okay, and at least I have seen a lot of other businesses learning a lot from this COVID-19, and more so people have gotten opportunities, have tried to revamp themselves, have boosted a lot. How about the entertainment sector? The stakeholders, have you learned anything, or what do you think could have been learnt or forgotten?
I think when it comes to learning, it's to every individual. Because you see, even if we force them to learn and they don't want to learn and they've been here for 10 years, it's okay. We can bring a new artist, Catalia and Kando, and they'll take over. So, I believe people have learned a bit. Like I said, we now have a very good turnaround time for new music. I mean, we used to look for music in the old days, and you'd call an artist and they're sleeping at 12 p.m. Tell them to upload their song, and then they'll only upload it 2 weeks later. But now we are seeing that there is a good turnaround time. Of course, that's a very good starting point. Even the quality, we are seeing better quality, I think. We're also seeing better collaborations, because we start with collaborations in the region. You see people like Fit for Maker working with Harmonize, John Black. I've seen they've done something with Buzigang.
I've seen Spice Diana
with DJ7 from South Africa, with Harmonize. So this is the right direction. I've seen Vinka's song being mastered by Diamond Platinum's producer. So I think all these things came because of the lockdown.
Okay.
People had a chance to just sit in their homes, either watch TV or go online and see how other people are enjoying their industries, how other people are enjoying their businesses. And now we are seeing better quality, better music videos. We are seeing more albums. I think we've had more albums in the last 2 years than we've had in the last 10 years. So all these things are learnings that are pushing us into the right direction.
And let's look at, I think it is now a month or two, in terms of the numbers, ever since the entertainment industry was fully reopened, was opened again to go actually access, let's say, concerts and all that. How is it faring so far?
I think it's good. I mean, I look at all artists and they're booked out. Every artist has a performance somewhere, and that is already good. The only problem is that is unsustainable, because COVID is not yet done. We could get a stronger strain anytime soon. So if we get a stronger strain and it pushes us back into our homes and it cancels all the concerts, then what next? So this is when we need to start thinking about things like insurance. So why does anybody do a concert that has a probability of not happening and it's not insured? Why does an artist drive from Kampala to Arua back and then goes to Barara in the same night? So all these are things we need to start thinking about. But on a whole lot, the artists are making money, and their rates have gone high. Artists who used to perform for 1 million are now at 3 million. Artists who used to perform for 3 million, like my friend Palazzo, is now at 10 million. So this is really good. It's a good thing coming back. People were missing the music, and you see, for example, if you are in a long distance relationship and probably your wife or husband goes abroad, when they come back, you know, there is a feeling you get. So this is the feeling that
that is happening around.
That is happening. It is very intimate. I've seen the lockdown has also given birth to new artists. Liam Voice, Unknown, Victor Rose, you know, Catalia Kando, Martha Mukisa, all these guys, they've come out in the lockdown. One guy called Baza by Exiba Ngebafa is charging 3 to 4 million. He has one song.
So 3 to 4 million to perform that hit.
That just one song. But I mean, if you go out, please try to go out tonight. You're going to feel the vibe when they play the song. So I understand that why Ugandans never used to pay for an artist who has one hit.
And it's always a trend, as if when you have got a hit, you tend to be, you know, on the top.
Yes.
So you just need to utilize that moment.
Absolutely.
So is it a moment you have to live within? Just knowing that anytime, you know, I'm dropping.
Yeah, that would be ideal. But the problem is, I don't know, humans, even kings, when they're at the top, they forget that there is a time that they can be brought down. Even the holy books that we read, people who God raised, who actually spoke to God, at a certain point they turn around and feel they did it themselves. So that is a mindset that they need to work on, to understand that anytime you'll be on the ground. And we have had issues before. We have had issues where artists are sick and we have to do a drive, and I feel this is very discomforting for me. Why do we have to go and start begging for money for an artist?
Washing cars.
Yes, washing cars and all that. Yet you can build resilient structures, you can build sustainable structures that will give you money even long after you're gone. I look at people like Martin Angume the late, rest in peace. Mose Radio, rest in peace. Harriet Kisache, rest in peace. Paul Cafero, whatever, name them. All these guys have music that can still make them at least 5 million a month.
Even when
For
they're
the
no
list.
longer
Make
here.
for their
yes,
families.
make for their families.
Okay.
At least 5 million a month. That is good money to start with. Trust me, if the people who own these estates also came out and started making sure that they come back and promote the music and make sure they place it in places where they can make money, they would make good money. So for the artists who are still alive, if an artist who died 10 years ago, I feel they have the potential to make this money because I've done it before. I've pushed songs on Collar Tunes and people have gone out with paychecks of 6, 5, 10 million, some even 20 million when they are dead. Reggae and Mizo is one of the biggest sellers of Collar Tunes. So if a dead person can make that much, how about you who is still here?
Very true.
Who can still make a call? Who can still walk into the office? Who can still send an email to YouTube? Who can still plan ahead for your release? Why don't you do these things to make sure that you have a sustainable income even long after you're gone?
James, you've been mentioning about Gulu and the gentleman, the artist who went to meet the general in Gulu. Last year, Fefe Busi actually went ahead to even release a song to actually narrate the situations that happened in Gulu. Well, speaking of the fact that the economy is fully reopened, let's say the entertainment industry is also fully open, do you feel the artists still chasing for that stimulus packet that they were supposed to receive from the general last year?
I'm hearing that people are getting money. I'm hearing. I feel the reason why I'm detached from the Gulu incident and everything about Gulu is because I feel they're asking for the wrong things. Getting a stimulus, but artists do not want to invest in the industry. I mean, I've been telling people like Jose Chameleon that, guys, you've been here for 20 years. It's time to invest in the young talent. Every artist who makes a bit of money wants to go into the restaurant business. They don't want to invest back into the industry. So even if they go to Gulu, even if they go to the State House and they get millions of money, I don't feel that it will serve the purpose. Several people have got studios, video equipment from the government, and still that is not helping the industry. They're riding with it with a lot of ego. They'll not give you the equipment to use it, or if you don't side with them, or if you don't bow down to them and praise them, they're like small gods. So even if they get the stimulus package, if we do not know what we're supposed to do, if we do not know how we are supposed to move the Ugandan industry from where it is to push it to compete on the African market, then I feel like we are wasting time. All those billions, trust me, they'll go build houses, they'll go start up boutiques, they'll put it into restaurants. Very little will be invested into the industry.
Okay, and isn't that the reason why I wake up every day to go do music? Isn't that the reason why I wake up every day to go to work, to devote myself? Isn't that the reason?
One of the problems that we have that is actually not, that we fail to learn from big industries like the US is people to do something for the culture. People to do something for the industry. People to respect the industry that gave them the name. To respect the business that gave them the opportunity. to give back to the people that gave them the opportunity. For example, I listened to Mr. Semakula. He's crediting Abe Muchidi for giving him an opportunity. He's crediting Katolu Wama for giving them an opportunity back then when these TVs were not there, when it was just CBS. So,
and he put that in a song.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I'm quoting him.
Okay.
So if he did that, why isn't he doing the same for the younger generation? That's why I feel we don't want to give back to the culture.
And yet the culture...
Yes, yet the culture is what gave you everything that you have. It's the industry that gave you everything that you have. But artists do not want to invest in the music. And I kind of understand them. It is blurry how to make the money out. But that is why it is important to have the conversations with organizations, with people like the General. Conversations that tend to build an ecosystem that works. An ecosystem that serves the industry. An ecosystem that creates an equal opportunity for everybody. Because if Spotify is working well, if Tidal is working well in Uganda, if YouTube is at its best, then everybody will benefit. Even a guy who came yesterday will be able to benefit. Even an artist who doesn't have a very big song will at least have something to take back to his kids. So this is my biggest problem with such conversations like Gulu. We don't have to ask for money. We simply have to ask for an environment that is favorable for the artists to make more money. And that goes back to selling music. And the truth is, why are they talking about conversations of buying old music or buying CDs? These things are dead. We're on digital platforms. Why are they thinking about ideas that have not worked anywhere, like starting up an app that is owned by one person, so that the industry is owned by one person?
Yes.
I think that it goes back to the same question I think she was asking. Do you think that can even work? Or
if we are that desperate and we continue to go to General Salim Saleh asking for money, like you say, just simple, small money that cannot even sustain at least a number of people around us, I think that could work.
I told you, there is something called online concerts. What do they call them?
the ones that have been happening for the last 2 years, I guess.
Not 2 years.
Why are you laughing
like
about
6
it?
months.
People have been making money online concerts.
No, you know what's
Tickets
funny?
out there.
You know what's
buy.
funny? What's funny is, like I told you, I'm going to say it again. They sign off 300 million.
Okay.
Only 60 million is for the performers. The rest is for the businessmen who are already rich, TV owners, Bivuru promoters, and their friends. So, literally, the only money that is coming to the industry is 60 million. And it is coming at a point where artists have not been working. Their lives are very expensive. They live in very expensive houses, ranging from, if they're renting, 1 million plus. If they have their own houses, their houses are equally big, with bills probably surpassing 1 million a month. So, if you are giving 60 million to the industry and giving 240 million to the business people, which business people are not going to invest that money back into the industry, then I feel it's a waste of time. Gulu is a waste of time. That's all I can say.
Okay.
Yeah. For the business. But of course, for the individual people, I've seen my friends growing bigger because they went to Gulu, they got the brown envelope.
They tapped into government opportunities to develop themselves. Okay. How can someone tap into a government opportunity for personal development? And maybe, because I believe if I'm developed, maybe I can try to develop Sonko.
I don't believe in tapping into this
government.
Okay, not this government. But I don't believe in tapping into government opportunities. Actually, they are not opportunities, it's embezzlement. Because I told you, how do you give out 300 million to the industry, but only 60 million is getting to the industry? That is embezzlement. And if we have, how many TVs do we have locally now?
They are quite
over 60.
Over 60. If you have 60 TVs and it's just 3 TVs that are playing the concerts, month in, month out, is there fairness?
No, there is no. And that means there is somewhere the money went to.
So these are not opportunities. This is embezzlement of public funds.
Okay.
And
besides that, let's look at this. Before Rita comes in, I want to know, I've seen media platforms, let's say basically those that actually play music, a lot of music, rating musicians and performing arts that normally perform well when it comes to the streams. I've seen them actually telling us that this artist makes more money on the streams, the other makes more money. Which artist, in your view, do you believe, or if you're to give us a sum of the top 5 artists that have made huge sums of money on the streaming platforms?
Well, I don't know where the TVs get their numbers, but for sure I know, I've read, I've seen the top 100s, and I've seen the charts and how they look like. Eddie Kenzo makes a lot of money. In fact, he's among the top 10, top 15 Ugandan artists, African artists, with the most streams in 2020. The numbers for 2021 are not yet out. So he had about 198 million streams on Spotify in 2020. So that's a lot of money when you multiply with the numbers that I gave you, 0.001, whatever. So Eddie Kenzo makes good money. Shiba makes good money. Vinka makes good money. So these are guys who are getting streamed. They are like the top guys. John Black, he makes good money.
Okay, to mention a few, really, and someone is watching, wants to make that money too. We have got upcoming people, we've got young upcoming artists. What is your advice to such people to penetrate and be successful?
One, be organized. When you are releasing your music, make sure your music is everywhere, and make sure you have control of those accounts. Or make sure you're dealing with people who are genuine. There are lots of crooks. People have taken over people's YouTube accounts. So make sure you're not falling into that trap. Make sure you have control. Make sure before you release your music, try to pitch it. It might not work, it might work. By pitching, I mean try letting the people know. Try writing to YouTube. Try writing to Tidal. Try writing to Spotify or Apple Music. Boomplay, all these companies. Try to tell them that you're having a release that is coming up. Give yourself at least a month before you release your music, before you release your song. Because if you, by any chance, you get a chance and you get playlisted or get placed, two things might happen. You might either make money or you might be spotted.
Okay.
For example, people like, I work for Tidal, and when I was in Norway, one of the business managers there said he prefers to have a Ugandan account. You know what that means? Anytime you're playlisted, they can listen to your song and they might like it. He likes John Black. He told me point blank, I like this guy. I like his voice. So what that means is, if you land into the right opportunities, you might sign up with Rock Nation one day. You might sign up with Mr. Easy's record label one day. So just get organized with your music. Don't just release music. Don't have, I don't know how to put it, but there is a way artists will release music, put it on TV and radio before the song is on YouTube. Then 2 days later they are struggling with YouTube and maybe something is wrong and then the video is not.
I don't know if you know the local language in Uganda. Amaddu Gavant, right? Is that Amaddu? Amaddu for the audience?
No, still Maddu.
Okay.
Still. You know why? Because Maddu means there is something you're going to get out of it.
Yes, yes.
But you putting your song on TV and not where the money is going to come from.
Busidu.
I have no better explanation.
Okay then.
I'm sorry.
Now with this conversation, definitely, I think you're picking up something here. With the weekend ahead of us, you can still have the opportunity to go outside. Ugandans are already outside. They're making sure they enjoy to the fullest. They don't want at any one point to hear of anything to do with lockdown when they have not parted as more as they did.
And on a day like this, we just be in the vibe. The vibe is just right.
So you're supposed to be setting yourself into a weekend setting, and basically that's it. James, as we're winding up with this discussion, where do you see the music industry this year?
It's growing. The music industry is growing. I mean, I hope to see more collaborations. I hope to see more people plugging into the digital platforms. I hope to see growth in every sector. I hope to see more people finding ways that they can survive in the industry, but also to add value. You know, when we have new people with new ideas, there is a way it supports the entire ecosystem. So I hope to see more events. I hope to go out more. I hope to see more beautiful women in the clubs.
More events zitali mukugwa mu kivulu. Yes, gravity omuto ju fell onto the stage. Zitali like that, I think.
The event promoter?
No. Even the artists.
You organize.
Artists by now what we call tech rider.
Okay.
So your tech rider is what is the temperature of water that you need on stage? What is the kind of microphone that you need on stage? What is the quality of stage
you're going to step on?
Because imagine if gravity with that fall,
no insurance.
No insurance. No insurance. He's not going to be able to sing again.
To jump again.
Career ruined.
Yes. So that is why we now need to start thinking and learning from things that happen to our friends. Because how can we make sure that artists are safe? I saw Palazzo sweeping the road in
Masaka for not performing.
Because he had like 5 concerts on that day. How do we protect our consumer so that because if the consumers also at one point wake up and say we are not supporting your concerts anymore, we'll be seeing more Nigerians. Yet it was the whole essence for the start of Save Uganda Music that led to Uganda Musicians Association. So we need to start thinking about these things, and the leaders need to take up their part. They need to play their part. If we all play our part, the industry will be very nice. All
right, from there, Rita, can we sum up this discussion?
Yeah, sure. Me, I would maybe sum it with a question again that I would really want to know, and maybe make it clear. We have people studying, we have learners in school. Can they consider music as a career? Can they consider doing music as a career?
I think your question is only looking at the musicians. I told you, I'm a computer scientist.
Yes, please.
And
especially music.
Why music? I have a nice career in music.
Why music, James? Because there is a number of artists coming on board, and when you see young people watching TV, they're like, okay, you mean I can do that within a very short period?
That wants to be
yes, and get money.
Celebrity lifestyle.
So that's why I feel we do not have to only influence people to become artists.
Exactly.
We have to influence people to become music curators. We have to influence people to become better bouncers, so that they don't disturb us.
For people to be stakeholders in the industry.
So if we have very intelligent, nice people in all these sectors. For example, one of the best guys that I like so much as a CEO, he's actually an engineer, Waiki Benda. The way he does his things with the knowledge and the understanding and all the education that he has, you see that there is progress. So if we get more university graduates joining us in the different sectors, yes, music can give you a very good career. I mean, for us, the pioneers, at least for digital music, if I'm happy with where I am, I know there is much more that we can make. But if I'm happy where I am, as a person who is one of the first few to start on this journey, then how about if we have 100 other people like me?
Okay.
Then where will the industry be? So let's have as many people get interested in becoming a TV presenter, get interested in becoming a music creator, into becoming an artist manager. So all these sectors can actually make you very rich because we have real examples. When you bring me back here, I'll give you examples of people who have made careers in the different sectors of music.
All right. And indeed, many have made careers. One turned politician, greatly having an advantage as well. Let's not go into that one meanwhile.
You can motivate your children to be like us, like he mentioned. I mean, wouldn't you want to be a part of this?
Well, with that, let's just try to get back to what is happening across the European continent. Ukraine and Russia. A simple twist here, it being a weekend, there is a movie director, Sean Penn, is in Ukraine to make a documentary on the Russian attack. People make money even when there are challenges. Now, the US actor director has been photographed attending a news conference in Kiev and seen meeting with the President Zelensky in a video. So he's already preparing his content for the aftermath of this particular crisis. All right, and with that, for all of you that have been joining us from where we did start, this has been Smart Means Business. The weekend is ahead of us, and for all of you that caught us from Monday till Friday, thank you very much. I'm Joram Paul Sonko. You can follow me on Twitter, Facebook and Instagram at Joram Paul Sonko. And on Smart 24 TV, we are on social media, Twitter, Facebook and Instagram.
Okay, maybe if you could give your social media account.
Yeah, my name is James Proper, JP. You can follow me everywhere. James Proper, Proper is P-R-O-P-A. You can shoot me a question if you have a son that you want to, integrate into this business.
Okay, you know why I'm smiling. You've got a very big fan, Kakos, John Paul.
We have three JPs in the house today.
Very well, you can catch me up at Rita Cabanero on social media platforms. And it's a goodbye from me.
All right, and thank you very much for all of you till next week, and we do hope we continue to drive your business, and I hope the discussion has been of good importance as well. Give us your feedback. YouTube, Smart 24 TV, hit that subscription button, give us those streams. Have a good one.